My name is Karen Ziegler, and I am a design thinking consultant. I help organizations innovate the future of how their companies work. You see, at Design for Innovation Consulting, we believe that design thinking is not only a tool for product design or service design, but actually a superpower that leaders can employ to creatively problem solve any challenge they face as a leader for their organization and for their team. And we do that through utilizing the principles of design thinking to maximize the creative potential of employees, to remove obstacles that hinder innovation, removing obstacles of process, policy, and procedure, and also to build an ecosystem of innovation to ensure that every leader in an organization has the tools of design thinking for creative problem solving. So welcome back to our channel. We hope, if you haven't already, that you will like and subscribe. We're going to continue today on a series of 6 signs that your organization is stuck in survival mode. So stay tuned after this quick video of an introduction of design thinking, and we'll be back to talk about sign number 2, rationalizing. Welcome back. And here we are talking about sign number 2 of survival mode. You know, many of us were left after the pandemic in a kind of a tense fighting mode to survive. And even though things are beginning to unfold and move again, our mindset really was affected quite heavily by those 2 years. And we want to make sure that our leaders are getting back in the game of innovation and moving forward and really creating the future that they want their companies to create, rather than having that future dictated to them by the circumstances of the day. So let's talk about rationalizing. Sign number 2 is rationalizing, and that shows that you are stuck in survival mode. Very similar to justification, which was sign number 1, but the key difference is in knowing that you're right about a decision or thinking that you're right about a decision versus not being so right about it and basically rationalizing it. So let's talk about the definition. First of all, it's to ascribe to one's acts or opinions to a cause that superficially is seen as reasonable and valued, but in actuality, it's not related to the true cause. So what does that mean? That means that we are kind of making up something that really sounds good to rationalize our decisions or what we're doing when it's really not related to the true cause. And kind of to give you a simple, kind of funny explanation, you know, I love chocolate. I'm a chocoholic. My husband gave me a 30th birthday, which was all chocolate. And I think that was the trigger of migraines. But anyway, I digress. I could rationalize my love of chocolate and my eating of chocolate to say, you know, it boosts my mood. It's has all these antioxidants and it's really good for my health. Well, that would be a rationalization, because the truth is it's really high in fat and it's also high in sugar, which isn't good for my health. So that's a rationalization. So it sounds good, you know, to say I'm eating chocolate because it's healthy for me, but the truth is it's not really. A good example of how that shows it has come out of the pandemic is, you know, during the pandemic, many people began working from home. And as we have begun to roll out of the lockdowns, organizations are wanting the employees to come back to work, come back to the office. And so when this roll back into the office first started happening, leaders were rationalizing things. You know, You're more productive in the office. You're more creative in the office. It's easier to collaborate in the office. When the truth of the matter, and the research has come out to say it's not the case. It's not the case at all. So while leaders were rationalizing, hoping that it sounded good as reasons for coming back to the office, it wasn't the true cause. And we won't go into what their true causes are. It could be varied and many, but that is just an example of rationalization. It's to invent plausible explanations for the acts and opinions of that we're portraying as leaders. It's excuses, it's maybe extenuating circumstances, it's explaining away why we want something. Where justification is really, we know that we're right and we're going to defend our position. But the reason why, rationalization is showing that you're stuck in survival mode is because you are marrying yourself to one decision. And you may know in your heart, if you really reflect on it and become aware of your true motivations behind the decision, that it may not be the best decision, or it may not even be the right decision, but for lack of creativity, lack of the innovation skills, it's what you're going to go with. So you're going to rationalize that happening. If you think about some of the greatest innovations or even inventions, think Steve Jobs comes to mind, Elon Musk comes to mind. Oftentimes when their innovations first came out, or even were beginning to be leaked and talked about in the marketplace, they made no rational sense. In fact, I think Elon Musk still to this day is called crazy by many. So you can see where rationalization really holds you back. We don't always have to have a rational explanation for a decision. Sometimes it's our gut feeling. Sometimes it's a hunch. Sometimes when you use the power of design thinking, it's a user's need, and you're going to follow each step through the process until you get to the innovation that really meets their needs and becomes a success. So if you are rationalizing, if people are calling you on your stuff and saying, what you're saying and the excuse you're giving don't really line up, and I hope you have those type of leaders around you, then now's the time to consider using design thinking, the innovative process that will eliminate rationalization, eliminate justification, and begin to help you creatively problem solve, so that that the solutions you're coming up with or the decisions you're making are not, something that you grabbed out of the sky, but actually something that's going to meet the needs of your users, whether that be your employees' needs or your partners, business partners' needs, supply chain partners' needs, or even your customers' needs. So thank you so much for watching this. Sign number 2, that your organization is stuck in survival mode. Be sure and like and subscribe this video so that you don't miss sign number 3 coming out soon, that your organization is stuck in survival mode.